Hi, everyone, and welcome to our live workshop, Build Your AI Dream Team. If you are watching the recording, we are so glad to have you here as well. And we're really excited today to chat about Gemini and Canva. So if you don't know me, my name is Dr. Saba Kidwai, and I am a former high school history teacher who graduated in 2007 and then ended up in sort of this ed tech space and have been working on technology integration for like the past 15 years. And for the past 10 years, been researching AI and the skills and mindsets we need to be successful in this era. And that's exactly what we're going to talk to you about today. Today, I run designing schools and we host workshops and do trainings like this with organizations around the world. And I'm so beyond thrilled to be joined here today with Stacy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Cradaville. I am a teacher in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm also an instructional coach and an ed tech specialist. And I just love all of the things that are blowing up with AI because it's so much to learn and to experiment with. And so today I'm super excited to show you Gemini and Canva. And I'm really drawn to these tools and to this work because I really believe that our students need to be creative and leaning into that creator mindset. And so we're going to be creating with these tools, and we can be thinking about how to then transition to letting our students be creators, especially with Canva and all the cool things that they can create.
And if you are
So
not
thank you
following
for
me,
having me.
I know. And I was going to tell people if they're not following you on LinkedIn or your blog on Substack, they definitely should be. And we will drop the link to that in the resources because we will be sending you everything we talk about today in an email. So we'll be sending you the deck, we'll be sending you the recording, and we'll be sending you a doc that actually has some of the exercises that we're going to share with you today. So, what are we doing today? Our goal today is to introduce you to two of your teammates, right? The whole purpose of why we're here is looking at what does it mean to build this AI dream team, like humans and AI together. So we're going to look at Gemini first, like your productivity teammate. We're going to look at Canva, your creativity teammate. And honestly, like the lines just blur. And last but not least, we're going to look at how do Canva and Gemini work together. You are a leader in your space. And so one of the things that we're seeing is a lot of CEOs send these memos, right? And there's a big theme across these memos. We saw one from Shopify, we saw another one from Duolingo. And across the board, one of the things that we are hearing from people is before you ask me to hire more people, I want you to tell me why AI can't do the job, right? That's like what we're hearing synonymously. And so, a really big part of today is you're going to see why people are starting to say this. Now, here's the problem that we're starting to see with some of the backlash that these people are getting. And that is that we're seeing a lot of people have not done step one, and that is make the mindset shift from AI isn't just a tool. AI is the newest member of your team, and we need to find a way to get along with everyone, okay? And because most people skip this step of how is AI a member of my team? What does AI do well? What do I do well? They start to get either fearful or think it's going to replace them. So today we're going to share with you the 4 steps to building your AI dream team and how you go about doing that with Gemini and Canva. So the reason this became apparent was because if you look at the headlines of what everybody was sharing, people completely missed a really big chunk of the memo. So in the Duolingo one, he said, this is not about replacing you with AI. This is about removing bottlenecks so that you can focus on creative work and real problems, not repetitive tasks. It says we're going to support you with more training and more mentorship. Basically, let's do work that's more fun. The Shopify memo also had something very similar. Look, at Shopify, we want to make sure that our software is the best. Otherwise, we're out of business. If someone else comes along tomorrow and creates a better version of Shopify, that's where everybody's going to go because at the end of the day, who are the people on Shopify? People with businesses. So he's like, we need to be the best if we're even going to have jobs and stay in business. But one of the things that I thought was very interesting about the Shopify one was that it reminded me of a school. Because one of the things that it shared was that this is an opportunity and a requirement, right? But it's deeply connected to our core value of be a constant learner and thrive on change. That kind of reminded me of like a portrait of a graduate, where like that's the kind of stuff that people share. And then just a week later, after these memos started coming out, so about 2 weeks ago, the Microsoft released their work trend index. And one of the things that they say in the work trend index is that there are three phases people are going to go through in making this transition to these like new digital teammates that are like infiltrating the organization, right, if you will. And what I love about this particular graphic from the report is it's just really simple and really easy to kind of see and like look at. Now, most of us here are in phase one. Okay. Phase one is kind of how most of us have been using AI, right? This is like us using AI as like an assistant with like the many, 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 many conversations on our tabs that are probably open inside Chat GPT or maybe Gemini or Claude or whatever you've been using. And write an email for me, help me with this, like these long running conversations. Today, what we're talking about specifically is making the transition from phase one to phase two. In phase two, there are things that you have been asking your AI assistant to do multiple times. Maybe it's drafting emails, making newsletters, social media content, lesson plans, rubrics, assessments. And every time you go in, you have to say the same thing over and over and over. And yes, maybe it's getting some memory, but you're still having a little bit of back and forth, back and forth. In phase two, we are formalizing the team. You are always going to be the leader of that AI team, but in this scenario, we are formalizing the relationship. I'm the leader, you're the lesson plan assistant, you're my social media assistant, you're my newsletter assistant, you're my assessment assistant, and we are giving these AI teammates very specific names and descriptions. Phase three, we'll save for another webinar, but phase three is basically where we're no longer just the person on top as the manager. You're almost working collaboratively side by side. Now, many people right now will be like, yeah, but we're collaborating with our AIs. But you still are giving the main command, okay? In phase three, you're going to have a goal. I need the students in my class to read at above third grade reading level, okay? I need to reach this many metrics on my social media account. We need to integrate AI literacy across our organization. And in this scenario in phase three, you may have some ideas for how to do that, but your AI is going to have some ideas too. So in this scenario, you're giving it the goal. We need to create AI literacy for all educators across our org. The AI is going to go out, it's going to make the plan, it's going to make the strategy, it's going to build the decks. This is a very like a little bit more, you could say like maybe, I don't know, I want to say 2 to 3 years, but like who knows? But that's phase three, which we'll focus on later. Today and right now, for the people we work with and ourselves, our biggest transition we must make is from phase one to phase two. Okay. So there are three mindset shifts that are essential in making this transition. First one I talked to you about already, AI is not a tool. You'll hear a lot of people say things like, oh, just a calculator, it's just this. No, if I'm shopping in the mall and I see something for 30% off and I go and I ask my calculator what's 30% off of blah, 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 my calculator doesn't give me an opinion on whether I should buy it. It doesn't get up and make the purchase for me. It doesn't do anything other than give me exactly what I asked for. AI does a lot more than just give me the amount off that it's going to get. It's going to get its opinions. Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to find you alternatives? Da, da, da. So AI is not a tool. It is a teammate. Second, AI is not a shortcut. It is a skill to be learned. And this is really what's going to help us get over the whole cheating and all that kind of stuff. Which brings us to the last one. AI is not about rules. It is about values. It's very hard to have a scenario where you can use AI here, but you can't use it there. It's in everything now. Like, I love how, like, so many people, especially with kids, it's like, you can't use a social AI companion, ban them for under 18, or red, yellow, green traffic lights. But you've got Meta, Instagram, all these kids, Snapchat, there's AI in everything. So giving kids values, giving them frameworks for how to make good decisions becomes very, very important. And not just for kids, for everyone. So this brings us to step two. if I can have this AI team that you say, who is going to be on it? Like, who am I recruiting? And it's very important when you think about building your AI team, like, we don't want mediocre people on our team. Okay. We need like A plus 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 players. We need the people who are going to come and make our lives easier. Because if you've ever worked with like a mediocre teammate, you know, sometimes like collaboration with the wrong person creates more work for you, not less. So we want to make sure we have A plus 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 players on our team. For us right now in a school, the recommendation is Gemini and Canva because Gemini is both are free, first of all, so it allows every single person to have the highest level of AI, right? The best quality AI um, for free to test, to sample, to do all the things. Now, I will say Gemini does have a little bit of a cap when you use it. So if you don't have the advanced license, there is a little bit of a cap. But one of the best advantages you have is that it is going to be super high quality, but also have data privacy security because it's part of your organization, your district, your school account, not a personal. Same for Canva. A lot of the features, though, we show you with Canva, like Gemini, you could go use today. Canva, May 20th. Okay. So, how do you begin going about doing this? Step one is, and when we have a Google Doc for you, okay, um, that we're going to share. And one of the first questions on the Google Doc that you want to begin brainstorming and thinking about is what do you want to hire for? And one of the best ways to do this is to start looking at what are some tasks that really take up a lot of your time right now. Okay. And you want to basically look at like maybe it's lesson planning, maybe it's writing emails, maybe it's doing newsletters. And you want to basically make a list and say, these are the things that I want to hire for. Okay. Now, the other important thing to ask on this is, if you could hire and have this help, what does it do for you, right? And it doesn't have to be more work. I was in, just doing another one earlier today, and somebody said, "Well, if I had AI help me with this, I could spend more time with my family." So personal things are just as important as professional. Now, you'll notice in the doc that Stacy shared with you, there was a prompt. So once you brainstorm these things, here's what you're going to do. You're going to come and anything you see in red, you're going to basically edit with your information. So tell it your role, tell it the task you want help with, and then tell it what it's going to do for you. And then you're going to ask it to basically create a job description and create in that job description what the AI will do and what you will do. And then you're going to want to save this because we're going to use it later when it comes to training our AI. So, what's going to happen next is basically this is Gemini. You're going to come into Gemini, and Gemini looks just like ChatGPT. So, if you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like, drop down menu with different models. We're going to be using 2.5 Pro experimental. You can add files. I'm going to show you research in just a little bit, or you can do the coding side by side, okay, which we'll show you a little bit later. Okay, amazing. So once you have your prompt, you're basically going to cut and paste it in here. And then this is what Gemini is going to give you. It's going to give you the team member name and it's going to start giving you the job description. And what you're going to want to do is go ahead and basically copy and paste. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste the whole description all the way up until number 2. We're going to copy, we're going to go and open our Google Doc and we're just going to paste. I would say start with 1. If you want to do all 3 or you want to do 10, up to you. The whole point is we are just giving you the strategy for how to go about doing this. Okay. So you go in and you do that there. Okay. And then you paste the name and then you're just going to hang tight for a little bit. Okay. Until we get to our step a little bit later. Okay. Amazing. Step 3, what is your teammate now going to help you with now that you have officially created that job description? So to kind of show you what this would look like, we want to give you like a real world setting, okay? So we are basically going to do a scenario and we're going to say that in this scenario, if somebody is off of mute, Stacy, can you just watch the mute for me? So in this scenario, basically what we're going to look at is that a team is
– Sorry, Saba, I muted you by accident. Everyone's muted, including you. My bad.
Okay.
Can you unmute? There you go.
Okay. So the team is coming together for its weekly PLC, and the topic that they're looking at is a common writing assessment. Now, someone says, like, look, I feel like all the kids are using ChatGPT, and it's getting really hard to tell when they do and when they don't. Someone else is like, oh my gosh, yeah, but like even without AI, the kids like just don't care anymore, right? Like they're checked out, and everyone kind of agrees, but they also know that writing matters, but they also want the kids to be engaged as well. So, what someone in the group is going to do, because they came to a webinar like this, is they're going to say, okay, guys, we've got 60 minutes. Let's talk about our strengths. Okay. On a team, these are the things right now in our class as educators we're doing really well. These are our three biggest strengths. And the reason this question is important isn't because your AI needs this. This is for the people, okay? We want to always be finding opportunities to really remind people of their strengths. It's very easy when you see an AI tool like share all these things and create all these things to feel insecure and be like, wow, that's better than me. I mean, we feel like that with people who do things in a better way than us. So imagine how people must be feeling when they see AI do things in not even a fraction of the time, right? That they would do that task in. It makes people feel like they're losing their purpose. So we constantly want to be finding opportunities to remind people what are your strengths. So like I like to kind of tell people like if you were on a team, why are you amazing? Like, why is someone so lucky to have you? Share that with each other. And then someone's going to open up a Canva whiteboard.
And this is wonderful because I don't know if you've played with the Canva whiteboard yet, but it's pretty awesome. You can actually do this kind of challenge with your group, and you can put sticky notes all over your whiteboard and just brainstorm and brain dump. And you can have that everyone on the team just put all their ideas. What skills are you trying to assess? What do you wish students cared more about? And where could students have more choice? And you really want to build in that agency piece and just put all your ideas together. And then with this AI powered whiteboard, you can actually go in there and highlight all of the sticky notes, click on the three little dots, and then sort by topic. And it is going to automatically move those sticky notes around and put them into groups for you. Which, if you were in person and doing this on a poster board and you all had your sticky notes, someone would have to take the time to then analyze those sticky notes and put them where they need to go. And it would take so much time out of your meeting just to get a little bit of insight from that. But using Canva's whiteboard, you can have it done for you so fast that you can then get to the next part and use it in other creative ways. Use that insight to kind of go to the next thing.
Amazing.
Saba, did you want to show Spark?
Yeah. So, Leslie, yes, there are many, many, many templates. If you go onto Whiteboard inside Canva, you will see, just like with all things Canva, they have a ton of templates. And I know Stacy said we would do this, so like, yeah, we will. We'll add this link to that Google Doc, so you can have that too. Okay, so this is just the first part. So let's say we're in that meeting, right? Okay, they have done this brainstorming, they have their categories, they're about 10 minutes into their meeting. Now they're going to pull up Gemini, but they need to prompt Gemini and kind of fill Gemini in on like what's been going on. So they're going to use the Spark framework. If you've been to any of my stuff, you know Spark is the prompting framework that we use. It talks about situation, problem, aspiration, results, and the last one is like, give me some ideas. So in this particular scenario, and again, you're going to have these, so you can go back and try this. We're a team of high school teachers in our PLC talking about the assessment. Our students are disengaged as our problem, and they keep using AI. Our aspiration, we want assessment that focuses on critical thinking, but also gives kids more choice in what they do. We want to walk away with these results. We want 2 to 3 assessment ideas that align to our goals, are exciting for the kids, right? Like energizes them, but is not too overwhelming for us. Give us 3 to 4 ideas for how we could get started. So again, we're just coming to Gemini. we are just basically copying and pasting that prompt in, but we are also uploading the screenshot that Stacy just took from our Canva whiteboard. So it gets a feel for our ideas and what we've already been talking about. It's going to take a couple of seconds, do its thing, its little thinking, and start giving us some ideas. Okay, so it's going to package the ideas, do an investigative report, like it's going to basically go on and on. Okay, now this is typically how we usually use the tool as an assistant, right? And this is amazing. And it's important to know there is a time and a place to use it in this way. Here's where you're going to want to start to think about creating your teammate. If you are doing this multiple times a day or every day or multiple times a week to design lessons, you need to build a teammate because we can't keep making these long prompts all the time. Okay. So to do that, basically what's going to happen is you need to train your AI team, which is step 4. Okay. This is what you are going to do with something called gems. Now, this to me is honestly unbelievable because this is paid in every other platform, okay? Even in ChatGPT, like you can use somebody's custom chatbot, you cannot create, let alone with the data privacy security that Google have given you inside of this with your org. So Gemini call their teammates gems. If you're a ChatGPT user, you know ChatGPT calls it custom GPTs. There's Play Labs, there's a bunch of other things as well. Gems is going to be the one where you're going to get the most because it's free inside your organization with data privacy security. This doesn't exist anywhere else. Now, when you go to the left-hand side, you're going to see something called Gem Manager. When you go into your gem section, these are gems that Google has already made. So you have a bit of an example of what you can do. Okay, so this is now us inside our Gem Manager. You're going to see all the pre-made ones that Google has created. Any gems you create will all be over here. So anytime on the left-hand side, there's just this menu, go Gem Manager. You're going to see all the gems you've created, but you want to come and create a new gem. Okay. So when you come to create a new gem, here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your name, and then you're going to put the instructions, and then you're going to put knowledge. This on the side is to test your gem to see, do you like how it's working? If not, you can go refine your instructions. Now, if you did that very first exercise, right, the 3 tasks, your role, the job description, you already have this done. We're going to talk about knowledge a little bit after, because knowledge basically is going to be, imagine if me and Stacy came and joined your team tomorrow. So if tomorrow me and Stacy came and joined your team, what would you tell us? You might tell us the grade level and subjects you're teaching. You might give us a copy of the class schedule. You might tell us your student profiles and learning needs. This one has a 504, these 2 have an IEP, da da da. It is really important, I should say here, that I'm going to tell you what Google say and I'm going to tell you what people say. So Google will tell you if you're like, okay, wait, does that mean I can put like IEPs in? Does that mean I can put like my student like roster in? Google will say, anything that goes in your Google Drive could go into Gemini. I think people are still very iffy on that. And one of the reasons I think it is habit building. When you start telling people, oh, you can do it in Gemini, but don't do it at home in ChatGPT, that's something I think most people will agree. Most people just won't remember. So right now, people are still really reinforcing this best practice of PII, just until I think people build better AI literacy skills. So something else you might want to gather as knowledge is your school's district mission or values, preferred instructional strategies. You know, we have some people that are like, we use Kagan strategies, we use Avid strategies, we do project-based learning, we do design thinking, we do tier 1, all these different things that are out there. You can gather a bunch of knowledge on that. And what do I mean by knowledge? I just mean a Google Doc. I just mean a bunch of information that you've thrown together on a Google Doc. It might be a Google Slides, it might be a bunch of PDFs. It might be a conference presentation you went to that had amazing ideas. You can feed it all into your gem. Your gem, though, does have a cap of 10 sources. So if you have like, oh, but I have 10 PDFs, merge them into one PDF, okay? As long as it's the same kind of topic, okay? You might want to tell your gem and give it knowledge of tech access and constraints. We only have Chromebooks. We only have iPads. We use Canva. Don't recommend other things to me that I won't even have access to. If you have AI guidelines or things like that, you might want to upload that too. And then you might want to do things like tone, formatting, and those kinds of things as well. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is once you have gone about, Stacey, you can see my whole screen. Yeah. So like if I pull this up, you can see this.
Yes.
Amazing. I'm
I
going to pull up
see.
Gemini really quick just to show you something. Okay. So you can see over here, I have a gem that we were just creating with somebody. And this was for a fourth grade teacher who was like, I want gate instructional, like I want a gem to help me with gate instructional strategies. I have a gate class. I want a gem to help me. Okay. Now, once you go in here with your job description, so let's say you came over here and you had this job description. Okay. This is literally what you're going to do. You're going to come over here, copy paste. Okay. Take the whole thing. You're gonna go back to Gemini. Okay, let me just come over here. Actually, you know what? I'll just do it from scratch. Here's your gem manager, new gem. Okay, we'll just say date, copy paste. Now, this is where it gets really fun, okay? Because you see over here, there's this little pencil with the diamond. I click this pencil with the diamond, and Gemini is basically gonna fix anything that I didn't give it. So if I forgot to give some instructions, if I forgot to do something, Gemini is going to come in, fix it, and do this. It is a lot easier for somebody to go and do like an edit of instructions than write them from scratch. Now, here's what I say. The very first time you build it, don't spend so much time trying to create the perfect instructions. Just get it good enough. If you're like, whoa, this is pretty cool, and this is promising, go back and get super specific in your instructions. Just to show you how easy this can be, you can even come in here and be like, I need you to help me write a school newsletter. The worst possible set of instructions and prompt on the planet. You know what? Gemini doesn't care. Because if you come here and press the pencil, it's going to like do its thing and make your instructions so much better. Purpose. Assist the user in creating a school newsletter by doing this, suggesting topics and formatting. Help organize information for all these people. Ensure the newsletter is engaging and informative and goes along with school guidelines. You should ask the user about the purpose. Like literally, this is off of one prompt. So like you don't even have to think really. Personally, I don't recommend this because this is to me where if you take the shortcut, so remember, the shortcut is available to you just as much as it is to kids. When we take the shortcuts, we do lose our thinking in the process. Okay. So just so you know, it can do this. It's great just again to see and to do, but like be mindful of like if you introduce this to other people, that they don't just go opting for like the little pencil and taking the shortcut. But anyways, it does give people a really good structure for how it should be made, for things they should talk about. They can come in here, add more information and all that kind of stuff. You do save and that's it. Your gem has now been created. Okay, Steve, I've been trying to find this out. No luck so far. If you had a Google Doc to your gem, later make changes. Okay, it won't automatically, like it's just safe best practice. It could be that it does, but my recommendation would be go into your Google Drive, update that, and all you have to do in the knowledge, okay, so if you're in here in your knowledge, all you have to do is just go and upload it again. One of the great things about Gemini is it automatically connects to your Google Drive. So it's very easy to go in and go out. But you know what? I have a call with them. I'm going to ask and I'm going to find out for you. That's a really great question. So we will find out for you. Okay, amazing. And if anybody else has questions, feel free to like drop them in the chat. Okay, so knowledge. Steve got us talking about it. Most people don't have time to sit. This is where the shortcut is like so legit. And somebody could totally debate that with me. We pick and choose our shortcuts, right? Most people don't have the time to sit and create knowledge for their gems. Getting a class schedule is easy. Getting all these different pieces is easy. But if I'm like 20 instructional strategies for GATE, 20 AVID strategies for 7th grade, that's a lot of work for me to sit and put all of that together. So Gemini can do the job for you. And it's using a tool called Deep Research, which you also have access to for free. Deep Research is one of the most mind-blowing tools. One of the best ways to think about it is like a consultant in your pocket 24/7 with a PhD in every single subject area. Okay. Yeah. And Ashley, if you could draw some examples, I think that would be super helpful because I know I am always trying to find like, how do we use this tool to the max? So, one of the ways I enjoy telling people to use this is instead of you coming up with all these instructional strategies, this person here, the same fourth grade teacher we're working with, said, I need 20 instructional strategies for GATE, but I need 5 of those strategies to be very specific to my EL learners, 5 strategies specific to literacy, and the rest can just be across the board. Okay. So now Gemini is going to come in here, do its thing, and basically say, okay, perfect. I'm putting together a research plan, and don't worry, I got you. Okay. Gemini now goes off. Okay. Well, wow. Look, see, just go into the chat and like look at now all the things people are going to share with you. Um, Gemini is now going to go off. Look at all of the websites it's starting to research. Okay. You can also see here it researches some books that people that like maybe shouldn't be online, but other people have maybe put online. But basically, it's going to tell you exactly what it's doing, what it's looking at, and how it went about creating this. This is a good way for you to fact check it. And then when it's done, it takes about 15-20 minutes, it creates like a 35-page plus report for you. The length of it depends on what you ask and how much you ask. But over here, you can export this to a doc, and then you go to your gem and you upload that doc as knowledge. So now, anytime your gem is going to answer or create something for you, it's not using random stuff. It's using one of these strategies that is in your report that you have given it. So you know what those strategies are and you've vetted them according to your liking. Okay. You can also take this report, turn it into a podcast, share it with your teammates, and so much fun stuff. So again, we get this, we come back to our gem, we go to the plus, we go add from Drive, right? Because Gemini exported that doc to us from the Drive. We go to our recent, and over here, you go right there, and there it is. Really does not take long to create. But one of the things that I like this for, again, constantly reinforcing human and AI, is in a PLC meeting. Like literally, if we're sitting and building this in a PLC, we're maybe now at about 40 minutes. Okay. I wouldn't do more than this in any one meeting. But if you said, hey, in our next PLC, we're going to go ahead and brainstorm a problem we're having in our classes. We're going to sit and we're each going to create a gem. We're going to do some like gather some knowledge so that we're helping each other out, right? And boom, you are done. This is how we need to start thinking about AI trainings and things like that in our orgs. So on the doc, you're also, in the slides, which we're going to share with you, you're also going to see just some additional ideas of who you could hire, just how you could use these tools. Last but not least, I want to kind of touch really quick on NotebookLM. Many of you have probably heard of this, but again, this is just another separate teammate. I am like loving the ideas you are dropping in the chat on deep research. It really is kind of like a whole, like it's like the ocean. You can't see the floor because there's just so much that you can like go through. Okay, so NotebookLM, the way I like to think of this is like, growing up, we had all our binders, all our notebooks. I used to like save all of mine because I just loved all the notes that I had until my parents were like, either throw this away or do something with it. And like, you just can't do anything with it. So you just throw it away. But imagine if I had all my notes from growing up and college. And the way I like to think of NotebookLM is you can talk to it and it can talk to you, right? Ashley, totally agree. Non-negotiable, right? Amazing. So you can upload so many files. You can see over here with your organizational one, if you have the plus, which I think you do, you should be able to upload up to 300 files, okay? Google Docs, Google Slides, websites, you name it. And then when you come in here, basically all your sources will be here on the side. You can talk to your sources in the middle, right? What was that one thing that we talked about? Da, 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 right? And when it gives you an answer, it's also going to cite the sources. I feel like you guys should like drop in your LinkedIn handles because we should like everybody. I know I have connected probably to all of you, but I feel like everyone should be connected to everybody in this chat because the ideas are like I keep getting distracted by the chat because the ideas are so good. And then over here on the last side, you're going to see the podcast. So over here, it can take all of those notes that you did and it can generate a podcast. So you might imagine, like, right now with like a lot of kids with AP finals and all those things, you can help them create these like notebooks and drop in all your PowerPoints from the year, maybe a bunch of YouTube videos that they've been watching to kind of have them help them with these things. Maybe there's somebody who like, here's the hacks for the AP US history exam that I'm going to show you in this YouTube video, right? Drop it all in there. Maybe some friends have notes they've taken, drop it all in there, and now use this as a resource, one of your resources to study. So that's our Gemini. I always say, even if we just scratch the surface of what we just showed, you are literally like a gazillion years ahead of where I think most people are.
Absolutely. And the next step of that is making sure that our students are a million steps ahead of others as well, and really making that shift from consumers of technology to creators with technology. And Canva is a tool that many of us already know and love. But if you're not aware, they dropped a bunch of new things that are going to be coming to you soon, unless you got into the early access. And we're going to show some of those things today so you know what is next for both you and your kids. So, on this little screenshot here, you can see all the things that you've been able to do before already was video. You can use the whiteboards. Presentations are super popular in Canva, but sheets are new and there's a lot of cool things in there. And the docs, I think, are kind of underutilized. So now we'll go ahead and dive into my favorite update is one, there's a couple favorites that are coming, and this is going to show Canva AI, which on the top you'll see there's like your designs, templates, and Canva AI. But up in the very top right corner, there's a little present there. And if you click on that little present, if you have a Canva account already, it'll show you all the updates that are coming soon or that some of you might already have access to. So there's a bajillion things on there to explore and play with and just kind of see in action and start thinking about how you might use it in the classroom or just in your practice or how you can create with it. There's badges in there so that you can like explore and be learning and earn badges along the way. But super cool resource just to know that that is there. So one of my favorite things that's new is they're calling it the Visual Suite 2.0. And it's going to be where on the design, you can tell it, I teach 11th grade and I want to help my students create a portfolio. To start, I want to have them brainstorm ideas. I want to have them creating. I want them to use the STAR method, like be super explicit, like just say all the things that you're dreaming. What do you want this assignment to look like? You're going to create a template for them. And I want it to include X, Y, Z. Like just give all your directions. It's just like you're talking to your chatbot, but in Canva, and you'll be able to ask it to create this resource. So if you were just searching, like, the normal search, you would click through your designs or templates, like your designs are the things you've already created. And normally we just search the templates. And like, that was amazing when that first came out. We're like, wow, I can search this template and boom, it got it started for me. But now you're going to give it all this context. You're going to say, I need them to first brainstorm 3 ideas, have a fun way to choose, and then build out that example using the STAR method. You're giving all this context. So when you actually go and push that final button to your Canva AI, it's going to create that resource for you. It's going to create the template exactly how you've asked for it with all of those components already there. So amazing. Wait till you see it come up on the video here. So it looks like a normal chat. It's going to generate. It takes a little bit of time there. But then it's going to give you something already awesome that you can then go in and still edit. Go to the Canva editor. You can still tweak it. You could change the colors. You can take out a section that didn't look right. You can continue to create with this and make it exactly what your students need. And you already have this resource like already ready to go, like so fast. It's amazing. And look, it like did all the things that I asked for and it's ready to go. It even has like a rubric at the end, like amazing. The next step of that Other things that you can do in Docs that's super cool is that you can translate. So if you go up to Magic Switch, you can pick from the list of languages and it will like automatically translate everything. And I know we can already do that in other tools. Like we're already using Google Docs and you can go and have it translated, but it's so visual in Canva and so quick and easy to just pick the next language and have all the graphics already there. Sometimes you have to tweak like the size of the font and like that's it and you're good to go and you have it already done for your kids. So that's a huge selling point for accessibility. You can also go in and transform in there, and that is going to allow you to turn it into something else entirely. So if you have a doc that you want to turn into a presentation, you can click the button and it will totally get you started onto that next thing. So it's super all in, like Canva's the all in one tool. You're going to be able to create so many things, and your students can create so many things because they'll be able to be working on their docs and get all their ideas together, be collaborating on it. And then, boom, they have their presentation started and they can continue to collaborate on that presentation and they can keep it all in the same project too, which just blows my mind that that's so cool.
I know. I think these features are so amazing because this isn't so much, like you could get the person who maybe looks at this and is like, oh, that's just another worksheet, right? But templates are really what help us organize our ideas. Like the STAR method, the reason we choose to use the STAR method as a framework and example is because it's one of the number one things that companies and colleges look for in interviews. So when you go into interview, one of the things that people will often complain about is that kids don't know how to share their experiences. And kids actually have a lot of experiences. So, one of the things that we know, right, from the last year's Microsoft Work Trend Index is that leaders are particularly looking for young people. Come and help us with AI because they think that, hey, they're young, they know how to use AI, come and help us. The problem is, kids don't know how to tell the story of the projects and the work that they've done. We did this with a group of students in eighth grade, and when we first sat down with the superintendent and the teachers who were going to be managing this project with the eighth graders, we had it designed over a 6 month period. The first session was going to be introduce it to the teachers, da 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 da. And then the teacher goes like, why don't you just come and present directly to the students? Instead of like, oh, like, doing it was for the teachers first, like, let's just take it straight for the students, right? And we were mind blown because when we asked the students, like we had like a piece built in where it was like, oh, so like, do you have a project like you might be thinking about? And basically, they were all like, had a project ready to go, each and every single kid. Now, here was the only catch: every single project was something they were doing outside of school. But nevertheless, so kids have a lot of things, they have a lot of ideas. Helping them use these structures, use these frameworks really helps them be competitive. And here's Ashley as someone who used to work as a director of recruiting. Yeah, teaching students to create a living proof of work portfolios is so valuable. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so, again, kids can do this for free inside of Canva. I really can't stress that enough. Like, people are always looking for another paid platform, another this. Like, Canva literally made this all free. And now with the help of AI, you can like literally take an idea and just boom, make it happen. Okay. They did not drop it there. Like Canva, honestly, like there's like so much to go in here. We're like barely scratching the surface. But one of the other pieces of Canva AI is called Code for Me. Okay. So I'm somebody who's like never written a line of code in her life. But one of the things that we thought would be cool is, Stacio just made this amazing template, but like maybe the kids need support in executing on that template and doing that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come again, we're going to do code with me for this particular one. And basically what we're going to do is the same chat, right? Same like you're chatting in ChatGPT, like Stacy shared. And we're going to basically say, can you create an app where students upload a doc or an image, okay? Hold on, let me get back to, hold on 1 second, let's get you read that whole thing. Create a doc or an image and help them turn it into a portfolio piece using the STAR method. Because a lot of kids also have projects, they've done essays, they've done assignments, they've done presentations, and they're like, well, what do I say? What do I do? Like, they don't know what to do with it. So we're like, make an app that helps them, like upload the assignment and we'll help you figure out what you can talk about. give them suggestions for how to talk about it in an interview, right? So if they're meeting somebody like Ashley, they're going to be impressive. Let's brainstorm. And sometimes we'll say, like, let's brainstorm between us, make the idea perfect before you go creating the app. So it's going to first ask me some questions and it's going to kind of go and like say, okay, like, what are you looking for? What do we want to make? What do we want to do? It's going to give me some ideas. And I'm like, yes to everything. Like, every idea sounds amazing. Let's do all of them. Okay. And so basically, Canva's going to go in there, it's going to do all of them. And then what's going to happen next is it's basically going to start coding away. Okay. Hold on a second. I think I went too fast. We had this all kind of lined up a little bit. Hold on one second. Okay, so it goes. Wow, it really wants to build the suspense here. Okay, so it's saying I'm going to create this, I'm going to do all these things. You press enter, it's thinking, and now it's going to start pulling up its code screen. This to me personally is mind blowing. Look how many lines of code this is generating. Okay, now again, this is something you can do, but it's so important to know like this is something your kids can do as well. When it's done writing the code, this is the app that it has created for me to use. So you can see over here, the kid can come here. They can go to choose file. Oh, I had to do a change. You can literally tell how like quickly we put this together. You're gonna not be like this. Okay, so kid comes in, they choose the file that they're going to work with. Okay, they go, they upload their image, their PDF, their doc, whatever it is that they have. And then I didn't even ask for this. It's like, oh, what's your project title? Oh, what subject is this for? Like, I didn't even ask for this. And then here it is, the situation. It's got sentence starters, it's got ideas, it's got all these different things kind of like built in here. And basically, what it's going to do is something now you can take and you can share it with your students. You can open this up in a design. Um, it has like so many other things that it can do as well. Like you can just keep like going with this one. Let's see, did we get the whole, did it do the whole thing for you? Okay, yeah, no, it didn't. Okay, here, look. Okay, it does like way more. Okay, so here we go. It's got this entire like thing. It's got skills, right? So like situation, walking you through it. Kids types it in. But look over here. It even has interview tips. Okay, so it does a full summary of what you created, how to use this in an interview. And then we said, oh, it even gives them a script, like a practice script. Like it went so above and beyond. Like I didn't even ask for any of this stuff. I just said, hey, I want a portfolio app that's going to help my kids write about this. And boom, there it was. You can actually open this in the Canva app as a design and share it out with your kids so that they can all start using this app. So you take what Stacy created, you take this app, and your kids now not only have a template, but also a resource to guide them along the way, alongside, of course, you. Okay, well, thanks so much for coming, guys, live. It was great to see you all, great to chat with you all, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye everyone.